Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to see the complete e-commerce marketing funnel and do a complete funnel analysis to see how people find the store on e-commerce websites, how people find e-commerce websites, how they find the product pages, and the entire journey of adding a product to cart, adding their contact info, their shipping info, and making the payment and being recorded as a conversion. So mostly you would hear about the conversion rate of an e-commerce store, which is basically the overall number of people converted from every 100 people that visit the store. So if you have a 1% or 2% conversion rate, it's one or two people buying from every 100 sessions on the website. However, this number that you see, the percentage, is just the number of people who are on the last step of the e-commerce funnel. But there are many different steps throughout the e-commerce funnel, throughout the user behavior journey on an e-commerce store. And it's important to look at each of these steps manually, because once you optimize every step in the funnel and you found the right fit for every step, just the right button colors, just the right user options, just the right links, just the right information, you'll be able to have an optimal journey. And what matters is the conversion rate at each step of the journey and not just the conversion rate at the end. So essentially, you have to get all of these things right. Okay, so you'll have to get people to go from products to add to cart. You'll have to get people from there to adding their contact, to adding their shipping, to adding their payment, and then to buying the product. It's not just the product page, which is one of the common mistakes that I see e-commerce marketeers and entrepreneurs do. Is when they talk about conversion rates, they only talk about the product page. They talk about how can we optimize the product page, what can we add on the product page to have a better conversion rate. But you'll have to optimize all of these pages, the entire user journey, in order to actually get one conversion. And the more you can optimize these steps, the better you have the final conversion rate. You can go from 1% to 2% to 3% if you can increase all of these steps with a very small percentage. So that's the ideal approach of conversion rate optimization for e-commerce, is that you want to go to each of the steps and then see how you can optimize each step so that your resulting number would be high. Now, the first step is for a user to come from any of the traffic sources that you might be running: Facebook, Instagram, Google ads, email, influencer marketing, social media, Instagram referrals, stories, whatever that is, all of that traffic to come and see your products, because they can decide whether or not they want to buy a product. Now, you could also land these people on your collection pages or a landing page or a home page. That's completely up to your business model and what works best for you. But in this example, which is just a sample store that I'm showing you, we are seeing people who land on the product page from one of the marketing channels. So that's the first step. People land from marketing channels to see the products. And then we see what's going to happen here. Basically, I'm in the goal flow report inside the conversions on my Google Analytics. I do have a complete course on Google Analytics for e-commerce, as well as a complete course on optimizing conversion rates for e-commerce. But in this video, we're going to focus on the entire funnel, just going through the journey as a user and also trying to understand what's happening on the marketing side of the journey. So just to also make it a little more interesting, I'm going to open our website, asource.com, just to follow along as a user on the journey on this website and see what's happening. So now we are here on this website. So I'm assuming that what's happening is people are sort of coming in from different sources to the products page. So I'm going to open any product page right here. So let's say the new in clothing, and just click on any of these. Let's click on this one. So we have a product page here. This is an individual product page. So this is the see products phase of the user journey. And as you see, most of the traffic is landing here, which is why this page becomes of one of the highest importance in terms of optimization, which is why people focus on having different elements in the product page and optimizing for those elements. So we clearly see here some of the things One is free worldwide delivery. That's sort of a psychological messaging to the user, which could help in improving conversions from this page to the add to cart action. And of course, we'll have to have some size selections. And then you see the big bold call to action, add items to bag. Now it's very clear here that this page has only one call to action, which is add items to bag. We're not really talking about 10 different buttons with 10 different colors. There's one button. It's a specific shade of green, which we have also found in many e-commerce experiments, that this particular shade of green seems to be performing better than other on our client stores on Shopify as well. But that's for you to test. However, we see here very clearly the messaging also add items to bag. Now, to reach at this conclusion that add items to bag and this particular color works the best, you'll have to experiment with different text on the button. You'll have to experiment with different colors. There's also a small wish list icon, but you see it's not as highlighted as the main call to action on the page, which is a key factor to keep in mind, that there has to be one call to action which is the most highlighted on any given page, right? And then we do have some trust building elements like I can go to the social media and see how many likes they have and so forth. I also feel a little more trustworthy when I see these icons of verified by Visa or PayPal or American Express, and they support all kinds of payments. So those are some of the elements that you can see, for example, on this website. And it's very clear that what they want from the user's journey is basically for me to just add these items to bag. So that's the first step. Now I've gone from see products to add to cart. All right. So that's where I am. And that's the step 2. So we optimize the product page for people to be able to add product to cart. I'm also going to just open another product, and I'm also going to add this product to the cart. You also see here that there are some more interesting sort of hacks for conversion rate, where they've shown the was price, the pre-price, and the new price, and the discount minus 65%, which seems to be something that could help in getting the person to add to cart. So all of these, I'm basically browsing. I'm on the see products phase, and I'm trying to see what else I can add to cart. Here we have, again, something which says it's minus 28% off. There is free delivery. All these elements are helping the user sort of decide, all right, I'm going to add this to the bag. So once I'm here, I'm now on the cart phase of the user's journey. So we'll go back to the analytics, but let's see first what they're trying to do on the cart phase. So they're saying it's in the bag now. So one is you got an instant feedback on what the action that you just did that resulted to some result. So what you did was you clicked on a button, and because of that, it's in the bag. So they're just giving you quick feedback that what you've done works, right? Sort of a reinforcement, a psychological reinforcement to repeat that action in future, and also confirmation that your action has resulted in this consequence, which is shown with a green tick again, which seems like just a simple icon, but it's a very interesting psychological hack that feedback that you get of doing something. So it's checked that it's done. That's what they're trying to do here with the green tick. And again, it's in green, which is a signal for going ahead, which is a signal for moving forward in the user's journey for the e-commerce funnel, through the e-commerce funnel. So they're moving me very smoothly through the e-commerce funnel. Now we have sort of also the was price hack again showing up here for me to consider completing the purchase. And the new products that I've added here, I also have a quick option to remove something that I may not need. And then finally, I have the subtotal. Then I again have the free delivery worldwide. So this is also because people don't want to pay for delivery. So it's very clear the message that all of this is going to be delivered free. Now you see something interesting here, that the green button still stays, but now it's on checkout. So every sort of move that I'm making has only one main green button, which is the next step, which is from that stage of the funnel. It's representing the next stage of the funnel. That's the beauty about call to action buttons, is that if you have a clear call to action and not too many call to actions in a single page, and that particular call to action has been tested, it has the right color, it stands out, it has simple to understand content, it's going to work, right? So view, bag, and checkout, both of them are verbs, um, which is action words are really helpful in call to action buttons, and they're focusing on the checkout button. So once I enter checkout, there are 3 stages in the checkout, which is contact, shipping, payment info, until the transaction is complete. So what they're trying to do now is move me from the cart phase to the checkout phase. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. It's not always going to happen. People might abandon their cart. We can retarget them and so forth. But in the ideal situation, what it's optimized for is to make me check out. So now we have the checkout page here, and now we have a guest option where I can continue to check out, or I can sign up for an account. I'm just going to click continue to check out here, and then I have my um, contact details, shipping details, and finally the payment details. So this is all the steps of the checkout funnel in one page. You see here that it's already pre-filled my country, which is going to be one step less for the user. So that's one conversion hack for the checkout process, that you pre-fill information as much as possible. You have a clear place to add a promo code, so people are not looking everywhere for where to add a promo code. If they have a gift card, they know where to add that voucher or that gift code. So everything is very clear here, and they also have some basic elements like the items. I can edit the items. There's a small edit button, but remember that you never want to really take people back to the funnel. So you don't want to focus on that go back to cart button, which I've seen like a very rookie mistake on many websites, where there's a big green button to go back to cart, which is not the action that we want people to take. We want to move people through the funnel. So quickly let them add the email. It's already, you see the promo is contracted, because if it's expanded, it's really big, and it's just takes away the focus from the main next step, which is to add contact info and move forward. So these are some of the nice things about this checkout place. I'm only pointing out the things that are good here, and of course there could be many different things that they might want to add. Hopefully they've tested their whole process, and they've come to this conclusion that this is what works the best for them. And another note is, even when you come to that conclusion, you still want to keep testing and see if something else works better. But essentially what they're trying to do is have an easy way for me to proceed through this journey of contact, shipping, and payment info. And finally, I would end at completing the purchase. So those are the different steps in the journey. What you can also do is basically just go to your Google Analytics, click on each of these and see the traffic, how it's progressing through every step. What pages are they exiting to? So if they're exiting, you can say it's just a number, right? So it's 50% of the people, let's say, go from contact info to shipping info. So 21,000 people, and then we have 10,000 people. But what about the rest 11,000? That's a big drop, right? So what happened to those 50% of the people? So that's important to highlight that traffic here in Google Analytics and see where they are going. So if they're just leaving the page, they are probably like me, just checking it out, adding some stuff to cart, and now I'm just going to close the page. So now my closing of this tab is going to be recorded in Google Analytics of ASOS.com as an exit outside of the website. So I've not gone back to the cart, I've not gone back to ASOS.com, I've not gone back and clicked on any of the product pages that were showing there. So I'm just a drop. But what if I went somewhere else? What if I clicked on one of those products? What if I went back to the cart? Maybe I'm reconsidering and thinking about something new to add to the product. So it might make sense in the next 1 hour for me to get an email if I had already submitted the email ID there. If I was already through the contact info phase, I could have been retargeted via email. If I was already through the shipping info phase, which is, you are very likely to convert, then probably I didn't have a payment info ready. Maybe I didn't have a payment method ready. Maybe I didn't have my credit card on hand. In that case, we could just send a mail and say, complete your payment. Here's the link for the payment. So there are many things that you can also do with the traffic that has exited at each of these steps in the funnel. And of course, you can implement some of the hacks that I told you in this video and many new hacks and test changing each step at a time. So implement your conversion hacks, let's say for the contact info page, test those for a given time period, and then make changes to the shipping info, track all of these separately. You can also run experiments in parallel since you can track that funnel separately, track it across time zones, across time ranges, and towards the end of this complete experimentation cycle, you'll be able to hit your goal of overall e-commerce conversion rate. So that's the user journey. And that's what I wanted to show you in this video lesson. And I'm also going to put a link of the course where you can get the e-commerce conversion rate course and check out the tips that I have for you to implement on your e-commerce store to double your conversion rate. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.